Hey everybody, and welcome on back to Minecraft. Today we have an amazing video coming for you all. We're going to be talking about lore and how to incorporate it into your Minecraft world and how that can determine your building of where you're going with everything for that. Today we're not looking at my own personal world, we are looking at the world of Pixel Brew. He's an amazing Minecraft builder. He invited me to come tour around his world with him, check out a bunch of the amazing video builds and things that he has going on there. Be sure to check his channel out though, there's a link to it in the description below. He's an amazing smaller YouTuber and I would love if y'all could go support him down there. But today, thankfully, he's joining the tour with us. He is going to be in here for a few of the clips that we're going to do, walking around in first person mode. I wanted to give him the ability to explain his world, to explain everything that he has going on in here, instead of me just trying to get the idea of it. Because this right here, we are in a swamp hobbit village, which I think is absolutely insane. It's so cool. This is one that this is the first village of sorts that he did inside of his own Minecraft world. And it's very cool. It's a very completed village. It's so freaking cool seeing all these things from the docks to the different build styles. You can tell it's a hobbit village, but it's not that traditional one that you really see. And he has a lot of reason behind why he does certain things and why he does certain ways. So hopefully, as I've talked about recently, trying to answer that why question inside of your own Minecraft builds, hopefully Pixel Brew here is able to help answer that question for you all. And with that, I'm hoping you all are going to enjoy today's video. There's a lot of hope going on here. So with that, I think it's about time that we start getting into this video and start allowing him to share his experience building in Minecraft. So without further ado, let's jump on over to it.
This area is the Hobbit Town, and this is really, there's a lot of mistakes and stuff that have been made here, at least now having grown as a builder. I see, I'm like, oh, I should have done this, or I should have done this, and changed some things, but there is a lot here that this area is probably actually the least lore intensive, to be honest, because I was really just starting off and I didn't get too much into the lore of things until probably the gypsy camp, and we'll be seeing that in just a little bit. We have to hit a few things up along the way that are newer, but
gotcha. Well, yeah, it is very cool being able to see everything and kind of being like, well, I've grown from here, instead of being like, well, this build is kind of like, ugh. It's like, yeah, okay, we're better now. And what did we learn? Like, what did we learn while building this? Is which I always try and stress to people, because everybody's always asking me, and I'm sure you get this question a lot too. It's like, how do you become such a great builder? Like, you're such a good builder. Like, what are you doing? And it's just like, well, I built a lot. I put a lot of hours into building, and over time you kind of figure out how to do better. Yeah, that's really all it is. You just got to practice.
Yeah, that's what I tell people too. I'm like, just one, watch other people that you think are good builders, because you'll learn details from them that you would not even think of, and then just practice. I mean, the whole saying "practice makes perfect" is really, truly what's in it for Minecraft, because it's like an art form. You got to practice and be able to make different houses and shapes and styles and stuff. And if you don't practice it, you ain't gonna really grow that much.
Jumping over to our second stop on the tour, we are taking a look at a ruined village here. There's a lot of really cool things that Pixel Brew has done to make his world more unique. In the center here, you're seeing what he calls the Colossus Gate. If y'all are familiar with Fable and the Fable RPG series, that's probably going to give you a good idea what these are. It's basically a way to teleport around the world without needing to use your elytra. So you can really stand on the ground and experience the world on foot, well, not really having to worry about traveling thousands and thousands of blocks and kind of missing everything. I know a big thing I talk about is being able to explore your own world, and I think this is a great workaround for it. If you have those amazing build spots that you like to go to, you found this perfect savanna biome and this perfect snowy mountain biome, but they're way, way far away and you want to build at both of them, maybe using a teleportation system like this to set that up would be a good way to go. He also does employ the concrete tactic that I have tried to echo a lot to all of you here for building out the builds that he does and kind of planning things out. So if you see some concrete around these builds, that is actually future planning for reasons why things are going to be there. Like this village here, Apple Orchard Vale, I believe is the name of it. Sorry for butchering this one. And you can tell it's a ruined town. Nobody really lives here. The toppled windmill that we're looking at right now is just so awesome, and it really shows this area has been destroyed and gives a lot of character to it. But the thing standing on top of that hill back there is a sort of a temple, and that is still held together by maybe some magical religious power or potent power, something holding that structure together, which I think is really cool. There's a lot of contrast in here, but you can tell there's a lot of life to this in a place that is completely void of life. There's so much stuff to look at in here.
So this town, the reason it's here, like the Cullis Gate idea, the whole premise of it is it has to be 200 by 200 blocks away from any major city or village or what have you. So this is actually roughly 200 by 200 blocks away from the gypsy camp. And so this is supposed to be more of a, not so much a place you would actually stop, like people would actually travel to and stop by. It would be more of a sort of along the way adventure type of thing.
Okay, very cool.
So this tavern is like the only build that is going to really have any sort of interior or person in it. It's going to be more of like, I don't know, in SpongeBob, the salty Splatoon sort of thing.
He's even got an eye patch to match.
Now we're getting into potentially, like, this is my favorite pathway. I don't do paths too often, but when I do, apparently I go ham on them. And
I like the mushroom using the birch logs as the base. That's very cool.
Yeah. My birch texture. I very happy with my birch texture compared to the.
Yeah, I've been thinking about going that route with my own.
Yeah, it just makes life so much easier because you can mix it in with so much different stuff. But yeah, so I did this pathway. I mean, this took way longer than I thought it would.
Oh yeah, pathways are time consuming,
but very, very rewarding. But I tried to make it so that it was like as if it seemed like a really long journey, but it's really, really not. There's also a shortcut, which I'll show you once we get back around to the opposite end of it. Because I mean, most games, like, you go through and you travel along a pathway and then you're like, oh, there's a shortcut I could have taken. And so there's just like little campsites all along the way that I've made just in case it's dark or something here. Because most blocks here are pretty much covered up and can't spawn, so it's pretty mob friendly. But I've had a lot of creepers.
There's always that one spot where a creeper can get in.
Yes. So I've got like fun little campsites stuck away someplace. And then this area in particular, I tried to make it feel on this hill here. I tried to make it feel like you're almost on top of a like big canyon almost. I don't know why, but just like all the leaves, like the ground is literally one block.
Yeah, they look like
below.
Yeah, they look like big trees. After leaving the forest, we are now entering into his gypsy village, which I just think is an amazing build style. It's so unique. I've never really think I've seen this before. It's a group of caravans and gypsy people that all live together inside of the Dark Oak Forest. So they brought all their caravans in here, and this is where they're living for now. So you're not going to see a whole lot of stuff really built into this area. You're not going to see any really big blacksmith areas unless it's a temporary setup that they just have with them. They're very nomadic, and you can really tell that by the build style and by how everything is set up here. Nothing really is too set in stone. It's all very mobile. It's all very based around these carts, including this one at the top of the hill. No idea how it got up there, but that is the leader. That's this mystic leader that she just has this ability to commune with the gods of sorts and is viewed as this amazing source of power inside of this community that they're building up here. And you can really tell that they really worship that person. She has their own tent throughout here. If y'all want to check the world download, there'll be a link to Pixel Brew's video in here, and then you can grab the world download from there. I'm not going to give you a link directly. I really want y'all to go check out his video and check out his channel, so you got to go over there to get the download for it. But you can see how much life is really inside of this area, using so many different aspects in here, including netherwort as a sort of detail flora block, which is awesome. And all these extra things inside of a Dark Oak Forest is completely transformed to really look like these people that are living here now just own this place. For the time that they're here, they have really settled in.
Yeah, so the thing that really drew me here is this little pond. I knew 113 was coming out. This was built, I think, in the middle of 112, 113. And so I was like, oh, if we can do some sort of water feature, that would be super fun, because, I mean, we were all excited for actually the underwater looking cool. And so this is what really drew me to this place, was this little rounded pond area. I thought it could be really fun. And yeah, this place is just, I don't know. This is probably my favorite place to just walk around, especially in shaders. Just really cool because I don't know, it's just kind of magical with like the nether wart stuff being thrown in just to add a pop of red all over the place.
Yeah, no, I really love that nether wart idea of having that inside of the swamp. It works really well with your soul sand being like a muddy block to it. But I've definitely wanted to steal that idea for a very long time and using it kind of in with the rest of the mushrooms and everything. So it's a good one. Now for the final 2 stops on the tour, we're just going to pick this up in time-lapse through the rest of the stuff, or cinematic through the rest of the stuff. This area right here is a very cool savanna biome of the farming village that everybody has to make everywhere. But this one has a great twist to it. There's a lot of magical power hidden inside this area. One thing that Pixel Brew does inside of his world that I think is absolutely amazing is he's trying to find a reason for every mob, everything to exist inside of the world. So this whole area here is built on top of the End stronghold, and this is actually showing why Endermen exist in the world. The way that they are existing inside of this world is actually due to some magical power that is leaking out from the End portal and corrupting this area. So where you're seeing all this purple glass is where this type of corruption source has come out of the End and just showered itself across this entire landscape, which is a very cool idea that I think that I personally haven't really thought about, is explaining why the mobs exist where they do. So underneath this cathedral structure that we're looking at here, a temple or whatever you want to call it, there is a big cave system down below with the End portal is actually directly down from the center of this building, where you can see that's really leaking out into the environment. The Endermen are coming out from that taint source or whatever it might be from the End that's coming out through here. So all of the purple, you'll see a lot of black glass around here. You'll see a lot of dark black wool and things like that that are just showing this area as being corrupted. So you'll see some of the End aspects here. And so the lore behind this one is that the king who lives on top of this temple tower, the Savannah Plateau, the spiky thing up there, you know, where the castle keep is, he actually wanted to take this power for himself. So he like opened up the area, and unfortunately everything spewed out. So the people living in this lower area, they weren't really able to survive. So there's not many people living down there, but the people who are on top of the actual peaked mountain hill thing, they are surviving here. One cool detail that we didn't really get too into inside of the video, but I'm telling you now in the video, I guess, is outside of the doorway of every single one of the houses down below, you're actually going to see a block of water there, because that is how Endermen can't touch water, right, inside of Minecraft. So he's using that mechanic to show that that's how people are staying safe from everything. The water is outside the front of the doorway to basically show that the Endermen can't walk inside of the door, which I think is a very cool way to take a look at this. A lot of the interiors in here are actually finished up as well, so he did something way more beyond what I typically do and finished up the interiors, so you guys can go check those out as well. But just look at this village, this view from the top here. It's very, very cool. There's so much built to it. It's built to be viewed from the ground level, but it looks so good up here as well, which I just absolutely love about this place. The final build we're going to be checking out today is this giant steampunk floating city. This is very industrial, it's very steampunk-esque, and you can see that in the grand building style going along here. This actually houses a lot of the industrial aspects of Pixel Brew's world here. For example, this floating balloon thing off to the side is actually a mob farm inspired by Pixel Rust mob farm that he did way long ago in his single player series as well, which is very cool, and being able to incorporate those extra things in here. And you can never really tell that's a mob farm, but you can actually see a few mobs falling down from it right now. And it's just such a cool way to bring extra life and lore into your area. It's not one of those big boxy mob farms that you see a lot of the towering mob farms that give 100,000 drops an hour and whatnot like that. But it's very cool. It's built into the environment, and there's so much life to it. It really has a lot of story built into how this thing works. He's currently working on finding some sort of power source to explain why all of this stuff is able to float and fly, which I think that balloon personally has a great way of, that it floats because it has a giant source of fire, kind of like an air balloon bringing everything up here. But that's one of the things he's working inside of this mega structure that he has there in the center, which currently goes up 3 blocks shy of build height right now. So he's really pushing the limit here on this one. But overall, I really enjoy this place. I think it was really cool. You can see so much life here from behind this wall of, I didn't realize that was in the clip. But coming out here back into the actual areas, a lot of these structures in here are so unique and different, but they have a style built to them. They have a lot of form, they have a lot of function, like this one might be sugarcane. I don't know, I think it might be for potatoes though. But there's so much different life in here. There's a lot of things going on with this build for something that is very still in the works. There's a lot of moving parts to it. There's a lot of things going on with it. He has so much still to build up here, which I think is very cool. I love these large projects. I love seeing them come to life, and you can really see what the end goal is going to be here. In the end, he is actually hoping to not have a giant, just bare platform in the center of this. He wants to have a lot of smaller platforms that house the buildings, and then between that, a lot of air and just open space so you can actually see through it. It doesn't create that giant dark spot I always talk about. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching today's episode. Check out Pixel Brew's channel if you haven't. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you on the flip side.